Okay, we're going live. Thank you guys for hanging tight. Appreciate it. This never happened to me before. All right, and we are live, I believe. 1 second. Yes, we are. Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone who's here for joining us live. Everyone who's watching on YouTube, either live or later. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our participants in this panel. They're all current students, as is evident from the current student panel title. So we're very happy to have this today. So first of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Jordan, Miss Elizabeth Jordan. I'm the recruitment officer as well as the Associate Dean of Students here at Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College in Barry's Bay, Ontario. I will be moderating this panel, just asking these lovely students some questions, as well as if we have any audience questions, feel free to put them in the chat so we can take them after we go through some questions I've already made. So I'm very happy to be with you. And also I wanted to give a shout out to the early action deadline for our applications for this year, for next school year. Our early action deadline is January 4th, 2022, which is coming up in exactly 1 month. So if you are able to get your applications completed and sent in before January 4th, you will receive not only will you not have to pay an application fee, you will also receive a $400 tuition discount and many greater opportunities for scholarships. So really advise you to get your applications in really soon. If you're on the verge or still haven't completed all the requirements for application, get in touch with us if you need any help, and yeah, get those perks. Okay, so on to the panel. We're going to start just with going around the room here, the virtual room, and just getting an introduction from each of these current students. So if each of you could start with your name, your year of study, your hometown, your concentration, or if you haven't picked a concentration yet, you can choose your favorite subject or class to study right now. And also, what did you have for breakfast? So yeah, name, year of study, hometown, concentration, and your meal this morning, just for kicks. So let's go around the room. Let's start with Anastasia, and then we can go, I'll just choose your names right after that. So Anastasia, can you introduce yourself to us?
Hi, I'm Anastasia. I am from Keene, Ontario, and my concentration is literature. I'm in 3rd year, and I didn't have breakfast, but I had soup for lunch.
Nice. Great. All right, Damien, let's hear from you.
Hi, I'm Damien. I'm in my 1st year, and I'm from Alberta, just like half an hour outside of Edmonton. I don't have a concentration yet because I'm in my 1st year, but I would probably, yeah, I always tell everyone it's like between 3 classes. I like Latin or Western Civ or Christian Doctrine. They're all different, but I can't really decide which one's the best. Anyways, and what did I have for breakfast? Well, I had a blueberry scone and a banana with peanut butter.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Let us go to the 2 girls who are in Fatima's together, Ashley and Catherine. We can start with Catherine, actually.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I am from Kitchener, Ontario. I'm in my first year, and I don't have a concentration yet, but it's so hard to choose a favorite class. I don't think I can say what my favorite class is because each one just flows into the other and is so awesome. So I can't say which one is my favorite right now.
What do you have for breakfast?
Oh, I didn't have breakfast, but I had an egg and ham on toast for lunch.
Good, great. All right, Ashley, how about you?
My name is Ashley Perry. I am from Richmond, Prince Edward Island. I am a second year, forgot what year I was for a moment, concentration in theology. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have breakfast, but I had a really good coffee.
Do you take cream and sugar or just black?
I had this cinnamon oat milk coffee. It was very good.
Living the high life.
Gotta keep it bougie.
Great, thanks, Ashley. Joseph, let's go with you.
Hi, my name is Joseph Wilson. I'm a first year. Excuse me. I'm from Richmond Hill, Ontario, which is about a half hour north of Toronto. My favorite class so far, it's really close between Western civilization and creative writing, but I would have to say Western Civ, just by a little bit. For breakfast, I did not have breakfast. I did have some butter chicken for lunch though. So
Okay, there you go. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to skip breakfast day as a student, especially on a Saturday morning. No problem at all. Everyone who's watching is probably getting a good idea of what it's like to be a student just from that question alone. All right, so Conrad, let's hear from you. Last but not least.
Thanks, Ms. Jordan. My name is Conrad. I live in Barry's Bay, Ontario. I'm right now going for a general degree, but my favorite discipline is theology and literature. And I had eggs, hash browns, and an apple breakfast.
Hey, look at you go. Great, thanks everyone. So for our listeners, as you can see, we have a wide range of current students here with us, so from all different areas of study and years, so it should be a good some good answers here. So I'd like to just start, and just as a disclaimer, I'm not going to be asking everyone every single question. I'm going to be asking a couple of questions that will be for everyone, and we'll go around just as go around in a group with these questions. But some of them will be only if someone has an answer, because we want to try and keep this under an hour. So I'll be picking and choosing some of these questions. So the first question that I would like everyone to answer is, what drew you, actually it'll be a two-part question. So what drew you to attend Seat of Wisdom? And if you could share a funny class moment, that would be great. So let's go around again in the same order. So Anastasia, if you could start with what drew you to attend Seat of Wisdom, and what is a funny class moment?
What drew me was, I think, that I wanted to learn how to think critically. It's easy to go out into the world and read all these different things and news sources, but not necessarily know how to approach them or how to think them through to draw your own conclusions. And it's easy just to, well, I guess, believe what everyone else believes. So I wanted the skills to be able to think for myself, and the school helps you do that. So that's why I came primarily. My parents encouraged it, but I chose to come. A funny class moment, I think, was would it have been last January? And we were online for a bit because of COVID, but we had a survey of literature class, and we were talking about Charlotte Bronte's her novel. I just forgot the name. Jane Eyre, obviously. Yeah, so we were talking about Jane Eyre, and the chat started blowing up with people's fighting opinions over Mr. Rochester and if the main character should have how her relationship with him should have gone, and people were just fighting back and forth in the chat and getting really into it. And the teacher like stopped talking just so we could read because it was really funny.
Nice. Yeah, I guess you had some different dynamics if it like the difference between online versus in-person classes. There's been some different dynamics with what's funny in class. So that's great. Okay, Damien, what drew you to attend Seed of Wisdom, and what is a funny class moment so far?
So it's kind of complicated what exactly drew me to Our Lady Seed of Wisdom. Like both my older siblings had come here, and so I was naturally prone to want to come myself. But I think what really drew me, because I had a couple other options. I knew I wanted to do a liberal arts education. I think what drew me was just that I knew the culture here would be what I really wanted to be part of, especially the Catholic part of it. And just from talking with my older siblings, I realized that'd be really important to me. Whereas the other options, I wasn't sure if I would get that. And so I think if anything drew me, that probably did. Obviously, I was always convinced that the academics here would be amazing. But I think that's what really drew me in. And as for a funny class moment, I don't know if I have one that's like, that sticks out to me. There's a whole bunch, but most of them you would need the professor or the context to understand just how funny it was. But I think I remember once. So of course, any prospective students you wouldn't know, but all the rest, Dr. Shaw is very notorious for his maps. Anyway, so he once drew this map. It was when we were talking about the Persian Wars, and it was about the time with Leonidas and the 300 Spartans. And he drew this map with these mountain ranges, and for all the world, it looked like a spider. And he's like, you know, you'll probably be like, Dr. Shaw, what's that spider doing on the map? And it was really funny, but I know context can make it even funnier.
All right, so any prospective students out there, you'll have to come and see what Damien's talking about to really get the essence of what Dr. Shaw's maps are like. Nice. Okay, let's go to Catherine and then Ashley.
So I'm similar to Damien in that I had two older siblings come to Seed of Wisdom before me, one of them being Miss Jordan. So seeing them go through school and seeing them grow and all the benefits that they received from the school, I thought was really inspiring. And then during their time here and coming back and sharing what they were learning, helped me understand really what a liberal arts education was, and that's what I wanted for myself. Like I could see that Seed of Wisdom provided growth for the whole person, like mind, body, and soul. And so I really wanted those benefits as well, and I knew I could really grow surrounded by like-minded, faith-filled Catholics. And then a funny class moment. Well, it was actually this week. So this week was Advent Angel Week for the school. And so it's like a secret Santa where you have somebody that you give gifts to throughout the week secretly, and then you reveal yourself at the end. And so it was before a classical literature class. And the person's Advent angel had this idea of giving the person a bowl of ice cream. So and then 5 other people had different toppings to put on the ice cream in the classroom. So we were all sitting in our seats, ready for class, waiting for this person's, the Advent angel's person to come in. And then once he came in and sat down, he was presented with the bowl of ice cream, and then one by one, people put chocolate sauce and sprinkles and gummy bears and whipped cream. And then, but there wasn't any spoon. And so this person was wondering how he was going to eat it. But then Dr. Pearson, who teaches classical literature, came down the aisle or the chairs with a spoon and presented that to him. And so it was very funny that Dr. Pearson was involved as well.
That is so funny. Wow. Great. Thanks, Catherine. Ashley, what about you?
I would say what drew me to the college was I never had any other like siblings go to the college, but like I heard a lot about it from alumni. Um, and I knew I loved the liberal arts. I started taking like theology and philosophy in high school because it's what kind of really drew me. But like I would say what made me decide to choose Seat of Wisdom, like rather than like other Catholic colleges, was its like small community aspect, and it's very rooted in Catholicism. And as like Catherine was saying, like it nurtures body, soul, and mind. So I'd kind of say, yeah, that's what drew me. As for a funny class moment, it's another Dr. Shaw story. My year, we really like to annoy Dr. Shaw, and he's very passionate about the fact that Rome never really fell. So every day for an entire semester, we wrote Rome fell on the board. Anyways, he was trying to argue that like the French language was just bad Latin at a certain period. So he went on this like half-hour talk about how they didn't actually speak French. It was just really bad Latin that turned into French. So then he asked the class, what language did this group speak? One of the guys, who apparently was not listening to the lecture, raised his hand and proudly said French. Dr. Shaw threw his chalk against the wall and yelled, "No, they spoke Latin. It was very bad Latin, but it was still Latin." Yeah, it was very funny. I don't know how he put up with us, but yeah.
Oh my goodness, sorry. Thanks for that, Ashley. Joseph, what about you? What drew you to Seat of Wisdom?
I think it was kind of twofold. First of all, so all four of my older sisters came here, so I definitely grew up with the college being like in and around my life. And the other reason was I did want to further myself in my knowledge of Catholicism and our faith in general before kind of, going out into the world where there's just so much garbage right now. So yeah, those were the two main things that drew me to come here. As for funny class story, I think I got to go back to Dr. Shaw and maps, where eventually, if you do come here, you'll see his cat map, which is when he's talking about the two hubs of the Roman Empire being Rome and Constantinople, and he draws a circle and then gives it two little ears, and one's Rome and one's Constantinople, and then it loses an ear when Rome kind of weakens, and then it's a sad cat. So yeah, I would have to say it's that.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Dr. Shaw is getting so many shout outs here. Great. All right, Conrad, let's hear from you.
What drew me to Seat of Wisdom, it was definitely similar to Anastasia's point, was that I after high school I definitely was interested in critical thinking and learning the truth and studying things like philosophy and theology. The problem was, where do you go for those types of things, and what where are you going to go where it's going to be studied objectively, where you're going to get a good teaching of it, and also understanding how does this all tie into Catholicism, because that's what I wanted to know. And so I didn't have any siblings that went to Seat of Wisdom, but I always kind of knew about it, that there's this little college in Barry's Bay. And so when somebody recommended, oh, you should go to Seat of Wisdom, I didn't really think much of it. I kind of thought, Barry's Bay, it's a very small town. There's not really much going on there. But then I came on a come and see, and what really impressed me was not only the academics, but just the culture, true Catholic culture, and the environment, which allowed students to really dive into these topics and really meditate on them and get the most out of it. And so that's what really drew me to it, and what inspired me to stay throughout these 3 years. Yes, that was my reason. Funny class moments. I think one thing I should say is that when you come here, because the classes are small, and so you get to know the professor, and if you stay for 3 years, gradually, as the years go on, the moments become funnier and funnier because the professor knows you and you know the professor, and everybody in the class, they kind of form this, I don't know what you would call it, but definitely this this group where everybody knows their sense of humor. And so it just makes the moments funnier. So with Mr. Meenan's class, you get to really know the things that makes him laugh and stuff. And so it makes the classes a lot of fun.
Nice. Just those little moments along the way that are, you can just know that he'll laugh at. That's funny. That's great. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Okay. I want to move on to another question that is for the group, and I'll switch up the order. So in terms of just like speaking to prospective students and students who might, be wanting to come here or like exploring coming here in the next couple of years, what would you say is the most essential item or attitude to bring to Seed of Wisdom? So you can answer either one or both of those: essential item or attitude to bring with you when you come. So let's start this time with Ashley.
I think you saw that I really want to answer this. I think this kind of goes back to like the school's slogan with Veritas Vos Liberabit, the truth will set you free. And having this mindset of just wanting to seek the truth, which takes an element of humility of like, you're not always going to be right, and the things that you thought were true before coming to the college may not actually be true, and just having an openness to learn and listen to what others have to say and hear opinions and think critically and all of that. Yeah.
Great. Especially, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go with Damien next.
I don't really think I can answer what's the most essential item because I'm still thinking about that myself. But I think for attitude, and I really noticed this within probably like the first week. And I think I can probably put it down to 2 points. I had my introductory meeting with my academic advisor, which was Dr. Hines. And he was telling me, he's like, this time is really special for you. And he brought up this analogy about how it's like college, your years in college are like your years of life where you prepare for like a camping trip or for like a backpacking trip. And it's when you're packing your backpack. He says, and it's when you can put as much as you want in there. And then the rest of your life is where you're out on the trip. And all you have is what you put in. And so he said, he was basically telling me, you have to have this open attitude to learn as much as you can, and to not let yourself just get overwhelmed or discouraged by just the amount of work, but take it as, this is where I'm actually preparing, and have like this bigger picture, which kind of almost all the professors in their first like introductory class talked about. To bring Dr. Shaw in again, he was like, he calls it, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by like the ratio of like all the tests and exams and essays, but like you kind of have this like open mindset, that this is really like a really special time in your life where you can actually really help yourself. So that really helped me. And I think that's probably one of the best attitudes you can have, I think.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. That's great advice. Absolutely great advice. Serve you for the rest of your life for sure. Okay, Joseph, what would you say?
I think, everyone's mentioned openness so far, but I have to reiterate that, I think people, get a lot of stereotypes about like a Catholic liberal arts college, but it really is like no place that you'll ever go to. So just being open to learning the truth about the faith, about life, about how to think. I think that's really important, and not just to be like, it's just another Catholic place, because it's not. As for item, There's a couple, especially if you're in one of the houses that's farther away from campus. Bikes are a really good idea to bring. Definitely, I'm in St. Peter's, which is about a 10-minute walk away from the campus. So it's definitely been times, especially since it's gotten colder, that I've wished I brought my bike. So yeah, that's a
Good answer. Yeah, definitely. Bikes are great. And yeah, openness. I really appreciate that for sure. Yeah. All right. Catherine, what do you have to say about this? What would you say?
As far as an attitude to come to the college with, I also have something from Dr. Hines that really struck me that I would like to try and do justice to in sharing. But he was on a faculty panel online that I attended before I came here. And this is a point that he shared that really helped me during, especially the first couple weeks of coming here. But it's still helping me. And that is that before you come to college, most people come from a loving family, which provided a good culture for you to like be yourself in and thrive in. Whereas when you come to college, you are the one who are responsible for creating that culture. Nobody's going to do that for you. Like the school does provide good like structures and rules to help guide you and provide you with opportunities to create that culture, but it's you who have the responsibility of creating a good, healthy, like fun Catholic culture. And so that really helped me coming into the year knowing that. So I wasn't just hit against a wall like, oh, like, what do I do? Nobody's making that culture for me. Like coming into it knowing that I have something to contribute to it and that each person has something to contribute to it was really helpful. And it's a big responsibility, but it's also an awesome opportunity. Like each individual person has something to contribute to the culture, and it's a really beautiful thing. And then as far as a practical thing to bring, warm winter clothes, like snow pants and warm winter coat, and then skates. The lake isn't frozen over yet, but bring skates because it's going to be really fun. And instruments. Bring your instruments if you're instrumentally inclined, because we've had lots of jam sessions and they're just so much fun. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Catherine. I want to come back to that point in a little bit, just about Catholic culture. But for now, I just want, we'll finish the rounds here. So Conrad, let's hear from you.
I think you all really hit the nail on the head with openness to studies and kind of taking everything in, because especially in first year you get exposed to a lot of all the really major disciplines of liberal arts. You get the classics elements, the history, the theology, the philosophy, and so just be open to taking it all in, and because you never know what's gonna resonate with you, and then that's the direction you want to go and focus on. You want to focus mainly on theology. You want to focus mainly on philosophy or literature, and you see how each of them are tied into each other, and how you can see the philosophy and literature and the history and theology and everything like that. So yeah, be open to grace, be open to God helping you and moving you through the year and providing you with the gifts of whatever gifts he wills you to have. So yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Things to bring, I think, if bring the things you like. Bring the things that you like to do. If you're into music, bring your instruments. It's a lot of fun when you get people together, because especially this year, it's been nice because a lot of people are phenomenal musicians, and so it's fun being in a house with a lot of people who like to play music, because then you just form those great memories where you're jamming together and you're playing songs and you're singing along. And yeah, if you're into to sports, athletics, that kind of stuff. Bring your football. Bring your bike, all those things. If you're into things like painting, drawing, bring your supplies. If you're into knitting, bring that stuff. Just bring the stuff you like, and someone will like it as well.
Good answer. All right, Anastasia.
Okay, so things to bring. I can't speak for guys, but as a girl, bring a fuzzy blanket of some sort. It's really nice when you're waking up really early to have a blanket that you can get off your bed, not just like your maid blanket, but like a blanket to study with, or just because it sometimes can be a little chilly. And then a good water bottle or like something to drink out of is really important to drink water. And it's so easy to forget because you're around the school all day. But if you have a water bottle with you, you will actually drink water during classes. And it gets really dry up here, so that's good too. And then a third thing is recipes. If you are cooking for yourself, it's nice maybe like before you come to ask your mom or your dad or people like just to have a few recipes to give you so that you can like have some go-tos during the week to plan your meals. That's just some things that I found personally good to have. And a puzzle. Puzzles are great. Just for a chill Sunday afternoon.
Nice.
In terms of an attitude, so this would be in addition to the coming with the intention to be able to work hard and study and do your courses. Those are really important. But I would have 2 points. The first is come with a spirit of like a sense of humor. A sense of humor is huge, and that comes with humility and being able to laugh at yourself. And there's so many people here who are really smart, and there's a lot of people who are diverse. There's people who come from public school, private school, homeschool, so many different people. And sometimes it can be intimidating when you're in a class and you feel like everyone knows what's going on and you don't. So it's important to remember that that's usually not true. And it's good to have a sense of humor and be able to laugh at yourself. And if you can do that, other people feel comfortable and you can have like a spirit of camaraderie that you might not have found otherwise because everyone's a little bit scared to laugh at themselves. So yeah, first, a sense of humor is huge. And also when times get stressful, that's really, really big and important. Just being able to laugh. And then a spirit of spontaneity, because sometimes in the winter here, it can get cold and people will kind of want to just stay in their houses and there's a lot of school. So that's a heavy thing everyone has to do. But if you could be spontaneous and just come up with like adventurous ideas and get creative and even if it's like on the spot, just going to another house and saying, hey, like let's have a music night or something. Things like that are really awesome. One of my best memories of this year so far is when we went over to one of the guys' house for a movie night, and then afterwards they played their instruments for us, and it was so good. It was actually Conrad's house. So if you have a spirit of spontaneity and just adventure and you can just like get things going, pull different people in, you get to know people you might not know otherwise, and you also just create really good memories. And a lot of people are nervous to reach out, so if you just do it, then you're going to be starting something really good.
Fantastic. Oh, I like that. Yep, super important. Yeah, especially in these times, of just I mean, Barry's Bay is just a small town, as some of you were saying, and just it's hard. You can't just go to the movie theater. You can't just go to a place where that is normally in a bigger city. You kind of have to make your own fun, as you all know. And so yeah, I just want to piggyback off of Catherine's point there of just kind of jumping into just a Catholic culture and jumping into something that's maybe it's different from what you're used to, but also maybe it's just it's maybe the different thing is just that you're doing it alone, and not with your family who you're used to, or your siblings, or your friends from back home. Maybe you're coming here with not knowing anyone, or only knowing a couple people. And so I just want to piggyback off of that and just ask, this is just kind of a free-for-all question if anyone has any answers, but just what's something about life of Seed of Wisdom and like the Catholic culture and the culture of having to make your own fun that has challenged you and made you grow? Maybe something about residence life as well that has really just made you think more about how you want to approach, entering into adulthood even more. So if anyone has any thoughts about that. Anastasia, yes, go ahead.
Just a little thing, especially when you're meeting new people, don't assume what they think or what their ideas of things are. Because if you do that, you often limit yourself, and there's a lot more things and a lot better things than you might think. So just coming in, it's going with that whole openness thing.
Yeah, fantastic. That's wonderful. Yeah, Joseph, yes, what the question is, it's just about just picking back off of what Catherine was saying, and like the Catholic culture, if you are coming in, maybe from a Catholic culture, or maybe not from a Catholic culture, but you're kind of jumping into this community life, and might be just totally different from what you've imagined, or you don't have any friends here to start with, or like away from your family first thing, but you want to jump in and enjoy this time, make the most of it. What's something that has challenged you or made you grow in this time? Yeah, so that was just repeating the question. But Ashley, you have something? Yes.
I would kind of say, like, a big thing with kind of leaving home for the first time is, like, you do get homesick. It's kind of something that's bound to happen. There'll be times where you'll be like, wow, I really miss my family. But like with residence life, like, I'll say girls in my house because I live in a female residence, but the girls in my house have like become my family like throughout the year. And anytime like I'm upset, they seem to always have something fun to do. Like it's like, oh, I'm stressed about this. And they're like, okay, let's go jump in the lake, or like something like that. And just that like element of like having so much fun together and getting so close, especially when we're in like such a close household. Like we have 8 girls in our house, and it's just like you get so much time to like be able to talk to each other and get close and become like family really quickly and share our family traditions with each other.
That's awesome. Yeah, fantastic. So good to hear. Damien, yes.
I think it's really important because when you first come, especially for me, because everything was really different from what I'm used to back at home, just like living at college in general, and then the school, and then like the geography of just Barry's Bay, and everything was just so different that it was really easy to be homesick. But I found that, and this is just like going in to being really open to the Catholic culture, I guess, is that if you really willed yourself to just take part in it, to like really become a part of it, it became really easy and really fast. You weren't so much homesick anymore, and you really became a part of something that was really fun. So yeah, and I think in residence too is just maybe a smaller version of it. Like you can go to your residence, and it's really up to you, like regardless of what residence you're put in, to make it I guess you could say your home. Like if you want to, you can make it really good, and if you don't, you can make it really bad. So yeah, if you're open and if you're just like ready to go out of yourself and take part in like the college life in general, it can be really, it becomes really wonderful and a really beautiful place to be. I particularly like to think of things like the Angelus at noon every day, and or house compline and whatnot. There's just something that you don't really get other places, and I find for me that it made it feel so much better right away. So I think that can really help.
Absolutely. Thanks, Damien. Wonderful. Does anyone else have anything to add with that?
I think one thing I'd like to mention is that regardless of where you're coming from, when you come here, everything in some ways is ordered to 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 the church and to the sacraments, and so by that I mean you always have access to daily mass. You always have access to adoration, which is incredible, and confession, and all the different prayers throughout the day. The divine mercy chaplet at 3, and then the Angelus, and then nightly compline, and that's kind of orders your day around prayer and around receiving the sacraments. And so that's one thing that really complements the day, and really complements the experience here, and allows each student to grow in virtue and grow in their spiritual lives.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're so blessed to be so close to the sacraments and to the opportunities for them, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. Wonderful. Okay, so I have a question for I guess it's more geared towards the third years, which we have 2 here, and maybe this second year that we have as well, actually. But anyone can really answer, but it's more geared towards those who are moving on relatively soon. And that is well, the first question can be really for everyone, but what are your ambitions or aspirations for after Seat of Wisdom? And then how have they changed, or have they changed since you started studying at Seat of Wisdom? So we'll start with the third years and work down to the first years, if you do have some thoughts about what you want to do after Seat of Wisdom. So let's start with Anastasia.
So I came in and I thought if I was going to stay 3 years, I wasn't sure. I was going to do 2 and then see about the third. But I thought I was going to do a history concentration. And in second year, I decided to do a literature concentration. So that's kind of something that changed. I really like literature, and there's a lot of good literature courses here. In terms of after here, I've always known, I think, that I wanted to pursue postgraduate studies. So there's a lot of alumni here, and even people here and teachers that are great resources to help you out researching that. So I'd like to do postgraduate studies and teach literature one day.
Good for you. Wonderful. Great. And yeah, it's interesting how things change during school. Conrad, what do you have to say about this?
Well, it's funny, right? Because I went in as most people typically do when they come to Seat of Wisdom. They you go in with the mindset of like, all right, I'm just going to try this out. With everything that you go into, there's a bit of risk to it, especially with post-secondary. So it's like, okay, go for a year, and then if it doesn't work out, then leave the next year. But no, I stuck with it, and I really enjoyed my 3 years here. Yeah, just kept taking the classes that I liked, and really really taking as much as I can from each of the classes. And so I guess one point to make is that through through experiencing the different classes, you kind of get to learn about yourself. You get to learn about how to learn, how to critically think, how to organize your thoughts, but also what you like and what you can see yourself doing, and that kind of combat that with the the spiritual element and the sacraments. You get to really discern what path you want to go down, and so yeah, that's really helped me to kind of think about what it is that I want to do and what it is that God's calling each and every one of us to do. So right now my plan is for after OLSWAT to go on to Divine Mercy University for their master's in counseling program, which ties in well with the OLSWAT degree here. And so it's cool to see that there are lots of universities and colleges and that not only accept our degree, but that the stuff that we're learning really applies to their fields. And a lot of alumni have kind of gone those different routes. They started out at OLSWAT, but then they went into to trades, or they went to medicine, or like these different routes. And you can always kind of reach out to them and see how they got started from OLSWAT to where they are now. So I think the point that I want to make is that coming to OLSPA, it's not that you're limiting yourself from going off and doing something greater afterwards. It's really this is the starting point of where you get to really, focus on yourself, focus on the things that you like, and really growing, so that you can be great and persevere in those later studies.
Yeah, really, really good point. It's definitely just the start of the rest of your life. So good. Ashley, you're in second year. What are your aspirations for after, and have they changed since your time being here?
So it's really funny because I came in thinking I'd be getting my theology to work in youth ministry and young adult formation. And then over the summer, I ended up working in like a church, like history record, like field kind of thing. That was my summer job. And I realized that from that I was really interested in canon law. So then like throughout this year, I was actually able to talk to like professors about like canon law and like if they know of anyone who went on from the school to pursue that field. So yeah, that's kind of my goal at the moment, but we'll see what happens.
Cool. That's fantastic. Yeah, anything could happen. Yeah, definitely. Well, and then for the first years here, Damien, Joseph, and Catherine, does any one of you want to answer what your aspirations or ambitions are for after, and if they've changed in the few months you've been here? No worries if you're still thinking.
Yeah, no, I came in like knowing that this is what I've wanted to do, and it hasn't really changed. But eventually after Seed of Wisdom, I'd like to go into psychology, and lead that into starting like a counseling practice of my own. What field exactly, I'm not sure, but I still have some time to figure that out. But that's kind of my goal for afterwards. As for actually here, I came in not really knowing what concentration I'd want to do. Now, at least through my first semester so far, I'd say I'm definitely leaning towards history, because yeah, Dr. Shaw's a phenomenal teacher, and yeah, really like his courses.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Keep it up. Keep up the hard work and see where this takes. Yeah, fantastic. Damien or Catherine, do you have anything to say there? You don't have to, but Catherine, I see you reaching for the mute button. There you go.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm not sure what I would like to pursue at this moment after Seed of Wisdom, but I'm looking forward to discovering more of what I would like to do during these years here.
Good answer. Keep that openness. Yep.
Yeah, I really don't know where I'm supposed to go after this. That's part of the reason, I guess, why I'm here. But I will say that this is a great place to go if you're not sure yet, and you want to do the laboratory. I find that like it's only helped me to further discern what my next step in life is. So I think it's a great place to come, even if you don't know, because it's been really good for me. I think just being like I think, I don't know if it was Conrad before was saying how all the classes like interrelate, and so it's like my first year so far has been really good in that I've had a wide range of different subjects, but they're all related, and it helps you really like think about what really what calls you. I mean, then like just in like the broader extent of your life, in general, what God is calling you to do, like it's so Catholic here and so good, that really it's basically like you're basically placed in a situation where you can really discern well, I think. So that has been very good. So I never regret, I don't think I'll ever regret deciding to come here for my first year, even though I didn't quite know which way I was supposed to go with my life.
Good. I like that. That's awesome, Damien. Cool. All right. So we have a question from someone who is not me. And they ask, this is actually from another current student who wanted to ask a question. Katrina asks, what is your favorite thing to do in your free time? And I think that's a really, really good question. and it kind of, I guess it kind of goes off of some things that we were mentioning before about, you know, what to do in Barry's Bay. But yeah, what are some specific things that you'd like to do in your free time? Or maybe just one to keep it at that, your favorite thing to do in your free time. Yeah, and this I'll just have everyone answer. So we can start with Conrad.
The first thing that came to mind is drumming. We have a drum set in the house, and it's so good just to at the end of the day, when it's after you're done writing essays and stuff, just to jam for a bit. But also, I guess tied into that, playing music with other people is one of my favorite things to do.
Good. Lots off some steam. Yeah, fantastic. Joseph, what about you?
I would say two things. Definitely the pool table in the basement of St. Joe's at the school. I lived there a considerable amount at the beginning of the year, and I still do spend a lot of time down there. It's a lot of fun. And then the other thing, watching movies with friends. It's a great time to just hang out, get to know people better, and have a good time together.
Nice. Yeah. Good way to just make your own fun. Absolutely. Ashley, what about you?
I would say, like Joseph, I like playing pool, but also I found it funny that Katrina was the one who asked this question because she's my roommate. And we have a lot of fun together with spontaneous water gun fights outside or just goofing off in our room. So I'd honestly say that like hanging out with my roommate can just be fun in itself.
Nice. Santa, I hope you're watching. Great. Wonderful. Anastasia, what about you?
I'm not sure. I think different things. I like listening to music a lot, doing puzzles sometimes, and if it's nice here, like in the fall, just walking by the water is really, really good. Doing reading outside or journaling, it's very relaxing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, just taking time for self-reflection and slowing down. It's always good for sure. Good. Damien.
One thing, so I'm not sure exactly if this would be what I love to do with all my spare time, but so our Latin assignments are usually due, well, they're due twice a week, but on Saturdays they're usually due at 10 p.m. And so what we'd often do after we finished, because my sister's in the same class, is we would play Latin bananagrams afterwards, or just at any time really throughout the week. And it's so much fun. And so I think that's one thing. And then kind of going like with what Ashley said is that you can do lots of cool things with your roommate. And so my roommate is really cool. And so like just this past week, we went out on an expedition with a couple other guys from my house to basically make an advent wreath. And it was so much fun. So doing things like that is really fun. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I know Latin bananagrams. Oh my goodness. Don't get scared. Don't get scared, any prospective students. But you know, it's good to keep in mind about what you can prepare for. Good. And last but not least, Catherine, what do you like to do in your free time?
Kind of like Anastasia said, I do like a lot of different things, so it's hard to kind of pin down one favorite thing. But like other people have said, I love spending time with people in my house. And we do a lot of fun things together. Like we've taken advantage of the equipment that the school has and just the nature that's surrounding us in this beautiful little area. Like we live right by like my room window looks onto the lake. It's just so beautiful. So like when the weather was nicer, we would go jump in the lake or go canoeing, swim around the island, play beach volleyball, soccer. And then recently, I tried archery for the first time. That the school has archery equipment, and so we did that. That was awesome. Yeah, just taking advantage of all the things that the school provides. But yeah, there's just so many things to do.
Yeah, that's a great point. We've been building up our store of of equipment, like Catherine was saying. We have lots of camping equipment, canoes, kayaks, and snowshoes, skis, skates, archery equipment, all that stuff. So yeah, we're still working on building that up even more. But yeah, definitely want to take advantage of the beautiful nature and surrounding environment that we have around here. So wonderful. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. I just have one last question. It's a free-for-all. But I want to know, just, if you will have any last words for anyone who is maybe on the edge of coming here, or maybe something, if you can think of something that you wanted yourself to hear when you were in the process of deciding what college you're going to go to, or wondering what it's like to leave home. If you were to go back and tell yourself something, what would that be? So anyone is free to answer. Yes, Ashley.
I would say one thing is just that you won't regret coming to the college no matter what you decide to pursue. And like several people touched on this, because you form such strong friendships and bonds with the people around you. Like the girls in my house from last year, I am still so close with, and the girls in my house this year, I'm close with. And I know that those friendships are going to continue on after the college. So honestly, in worst situation, like you get an amazing education, make lots of friends, get lots of fun experience. And to me, that doesn't sound bad.
Nice. Thanks, Ashley. For sure. Lifelong friendships. Anyone else? Yes, Joseph. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, just to kind of build on what Ashley said, like you are going to meet so many great people, whether that be the guys or girls in your house, the people that you're in classes with, even the upper years. Everyone's very welcoming here. The education's great, and it is going to benefit you in life no matter where you go. And it really, I don't think you'll regret coming here at all.
Fantastic. Yep, even the upper years. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Damien.
So last year I saw this student recruitment panel. I didn't get to see it live, but I saw it after the fact. And someone mentioned just apply. Even if you're not sure, just apply because it's worth it. And so that's what I did. And you know what? It was so worth it. So if I had to say anything, just apply. It's so worth it.
Nice, Damien. I believe that was Kevin. I remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. You should tell him that. Awesome. Anything else you'd go back and tell yourself or tell an incoming student?
Just go make friends and do Latin sessions together. That's a good way to make friends. And just have some good plans, but don't have too many set expectations. Just be surprised.
Yeah, great advice. Yeah, definitely keep with that theme of openness. That's a great thing. Wonderful. Yes, Catherine.
Another thing that Dr. Hines said in the faculty panel that I watched before coming here that really helped me was about, well, first of all, I was a bit worried about coming here because of all the, there's so many new experiences and uncertainties when you're just thinking about college. And so he gave some really helpful advice, and that was to come in with the expectation of, there will be things that you do that you're not going to be good at, or that you're not going to feel that you're good at. And that can be really hard, and it can be crushing at times, because we have this tendency, or like he said, we have this tendency to only do things that we feel that we're good at. But coming to college really challenges you with that, and that feeling of, like, I'm not good at this. This isn't my forte. But he really said to just keep going. Like, even if you feel like that, just keep going. And it's like climbing a mountain. You know, you're just so tired and you don't know when it's going to end. But then you get to the top and you look back and you see how far you come. And at the end, if you keep pushing through and persevering, you'll realize that you've grown, you've gained skills that you didn't have before. And so that gave me a lot of hope, just knowing that there will be times where I feel like sinking, but knowing that there is hope if you just keep pushing through.
Well said. Well said. Absolutely. Yes, and thank you to Dr. Hines for that advice as well. But thanks for articulating that, Catherine. That's very, very important. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because you can't grow without being challenged, right? So that's definitely that's a key to growing up and moving into adulthood, and yeah, just learning more about yourself. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, if there's nothing else, oh, Conrad, did you have something to say? I forget if you had your hand up or not. I don't know.
Well, I'll just say, just do it. Like, don't worry too much about, don't worry too much about what people think. You know, just go for it. You know, you're not gonna regret it. And yeah, there's so much to grow. There's so much to get out of it. And you're young. Like, college is all about just kind of, you know, taking advantage of those moments to grow and to have fun. And yeah, there's no real better place to be than Seat of Wisdom to do that. So
In the middle of nowhere. Great. Yeah. Ashley, yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to build off what Conrad said. Like, just an emphasis, it is so normal to be nervous. Like, I remember before coming to the college, I literally got my parents to drive past the college a few times because I just was so nervous to actually like go on campus and things, because I'd never been on a come and see. I'd never gone to student panels. I was kind of just coming in blind with it. But don't take nervousness as a sign that you aren't supposed to be there. I would say it would be a big thing. Like, it's normal to be nervous. Everyone gets nervous, but like, just kind of trusting that you're where you're supposed to be.
Fantastic. I like ending on that note. Yeah, trust, hope, surrender, just acting on things. Absolutely fantastic. Well, that being said, we are going to end this student panel. So let me just check if there was any questions from the live chat. No. All right. So thank you to all the students who are here today. Thank you for giving your wisdom, sharing your wisdom with us and your experiences. Hopefully to those listeners or watchers who are here today live and who are watching after the fact. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have questions about the admissions process or any other questions about the campus, student life, academic life, anything like that, feel free to reach out to us at admissions@seatofwisdom.ca or visit us at our website at www.seatofwisdom.ca. We'd be more than happy to help you, and we offer virtual tours. We offer on-campus tours. Come and visit weekends. So we'd love to host you and just give you more of an experience of what it's like to be here in person. And we're always very grateful for the opportunity to continue to be in person this year as well. So with that, let's just end with a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. All glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Our Lady, Seat of Wisdom, pray for us. Saint Joseph, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Great. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you later. God bless. Bye.